All right, today we're going to crack open one of the most practical books ever written, the ancient book of Proverbs. We're going to see what it has to say about, well, living well. I mean, seriously, ever wish life came with an instruction manual? A guide for navigating relationships, work, and just trying to be a good human? Well, it turns out, for thousands of years, people have been turning to the book of Proverbs for exactly that kind of thing.
So, what is this book really? Because it's probably not what you're expecting.
First off, this isn't a storybook. There's no big plot, no beginning, middle, and end. Think of it more like a giant collection of ancient life hacks. Seriously, it's packed with hundreds of these short, memorable, clever one-liners, and each one is designed to give us a little nugget of wisdom for how to live well in God's world. But before we can even get to all those life hacks, the book lays out a very specific starting point, a foundation that all the other wisdom is built on. And that starting point is this phrase, the fear of the Lord. Now, I know, that can sound a little intense, right? But it's really important to get this. It doesn't mean being scared of God. It's about having a deep sense of reverence, of awe. It's about that moment you recognize your own place in the universe. You know that you're not the center of it all. True knowledge, according to Proverbs, starts right there, with that humility. And the book doesn't just hint at this, it says it outright. Right here in chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. This is the launch pad. Everything else in the entire book is built on this one single idea. So once you have that foundation, Proverbs basically lays out a choice. It presents life as two very different paths you can walk down. And it is a really stark contrast. On one side, you've got the path of the wise. They listen, they learn, they seek guidance. And on the other, you have the path of the fool, which is just chaotic and dangerous. Now, a fool here isn't about someone's IQ. It's an attitude. It's someone who hates knowledge, despises instruction, and just impulsively gives full vent to his spirit. The choice seems pretty clear, right? Well, this is where Proverbs gets really, really interesting. It's not just a list of simple rules that you're supposed to follow blindly. Okay, take a look at this advice from chapter 26. Answer not a fool according to his folly. Makes sense, right? If you get into a nonsensical argument with a fool, you just end up stooping to their level. Got it. But then, in the very next verse, we get this. Answer a fool according to his folly. Wait, what? So which one is it? Don't answer them or do answer them? It seems like a total contradiction. And that's the whole point. Proverbs puts these two sayings side by side on purpose. It's forcing you to stop and think, because true wisdom isn't just about memorizing rules. It's about developing the skill, the discernment to know which rule to apply in which situation. Sometimes you have to ignore a fool. Other times you have to challenge them. Wisdom is knowing the difference. To make this idea of wisdom even more compelling, the book does something amazing. It doesn't just describe it as a skill, it brings it to life as a character, Lady Wisdom.
Yeah, meet Lady Wisdom. She's not some abstract concept. She's presented as a woman calling out, actively trying to be found. This isn't something passive that you just stumble upon. It's an active voice in the world, inviting us all to listen.
And what's really cool is where she is. Lady Wisdom isn't hiding in some monastery or some exclusive library. Nope, she's out in the open. She's in the street, the markets, at the crossroads, right by the city gates, the busiest, most public places imaginable. The message is crystal clear. Wisdom is available to everyone, everywhere, if we just have the ears to hear her. So, after all this, what's the core takeaway for us today? What does this all mean? The wisdom of Proverbs is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about skill. It's about having the practical, applied knowledge to navigate the complexities of life, to do it with integrity, justice, and grace. You could almost call it a craft that you develop over a lifetime. So the book kind of leaves us with a challenge. If Lady Wisdom is still calling out from the crossroads of our modern world, where do we see it? Who embodies this practical skill for living well? It's definitely something to think about.